Good day, our wonderful viewers. You're welcome to your station, The Living Television. This is another wonderful day, your program, Nigeria Today. Nigeria Today is a current affairs program of The Living Television, where we handle topical and trending issues as it affects our country and our individual states. Today, as usual, I have my discussant from my far left is Comrade Nnamdi Lekwaji. Comrade Nnamdi Lekwaji is a political affairs analyst and also a social commentator. Comrade, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, Johnny.
And after him, I have Barrister Chukwuemeka Nwogu. Barrister Chukwuemeka Nwogu is a security consultant and a legal practitioner here in Aba. He's also a public affairs analyst. Barrister, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, moderator, and good day, viewers.
Your command, as usual, remains my humble self, Chineduma Diele. And today we are starting with a statement credited to Governor of Benue State, Samuel Ortom, who said that for eradication of bandits, that members of Miyetti Allah must be arrested by the government. Talking about the Miyetti Allah is a Fulani socio-cultural group, and they are here. And Ortom is saying that for Nigeria to be free from all this security nonsense that is happening here and there, that they must be arrested. Comrade.
Okay, I think we're having this conflict. We've been having back and forth concerning the Miyetti Allah and politics and issues surrounding their presence. We have a nomadic group, and in most cases, whose migration, as we are told, occasioned by climate change or climatic factors. That actually resulted in the sacking of communities and killing and the waste of human lives. To the extent that the conversation we are supposed to be having, sometimes I try to see, I believe that these things are shrouded in a lot of emotions. We are not having a real conversation. So we know how Ortom himself had been attacked. His region, his convoy had been attacked, just like the advanced motorcycle were attacked. And allegedly by some person saying to be these persons. And again, how communities have been sacked in the state. We've seen that we've actually seen more mourning, killings, and the rest of them. And it's quite unfortunate that this has actually dominated the discourse in the PDP campaign, where you have an issue between him and Atiku and what we are seeing surface. To me, I think the justice system is not elaborate enough. We've not been able to expand the justice system or the base of the justice system to interrogate those we should be interrogating. Because I remember vividly, there were documents, there were statements to the fact that some of these persons are even arming the nomadic warriors we are being told that are invading the country from our side. But the whole truth remains that we've seen the president come out to say any person who is bearing rifles of like the caliber of AK-47 and the rest of them, neutralize them. But we've never had it this way with this particular person. And we've seen that to an extent they have even proclaimed, they have issued a hate statement against a serving Senate president, the former Senate president. You understand? So to me, I think we are not, in fact, we are not yet close to the threshold of truth with this whole situation. And that is why people like Ortom and other governors who have had to bury their citizens in their numbers, when they speak, you don't have to take their blowing it out of proportion or their playing politics with it. It's something that should be actually tailored. If in fact, should form part of the conversation of the campaign. For example, Atiku says he's a unifier, and this person is coming from his tribe. How is he going to address this woman if elected? We've seen certain controversial speeches attributed to him, even the ones we saw at the optics everywhere. So to me, it's still part of the whole thing. But then I understand the Governor Autumn and the exchange he's been having. The statement he's made so far, it's not to me. I would say it's not entirely out of place, because if you go back to the statement or the interview of Lex Obidaya, my Lafia, you know that actually it does appear as if certain prophecies are now beginning to materialize. So if Autumn says that, the question we should be asking is, are his people affected?
Okay, Council, you know, sometime last week, Atiku Abubakar also blamed Governor Benue State Autumn for saying that Fulanis are bandits and also the killers they have in Benue State, which Autumn stood firm to say he will always speak the truth at all times. But this time, saying that the Miyetti Allah, their members should be arrested if we want real sound security in Nigeria. What's your take on that statement?
Well, I think Governor Tom didn't just come out to make that statement. Something gave rise to it.
Yes.
If you look at what had already transpired in his state before now, and then the statements credited to our Ogachi driver, when he advised him, or the presidency, sometimes we don't know if it is the president that is talking or the presidency that is talking, advising Governor Tom, if you do not want your citizens to be killed, go and negotiate with these people.
Yeah.
Meaning that the people are responsible for the killings. It's simple logic. It's elementary logic. If you don't want them to be killing your people, go and negotiate. Give up land. It's about land. It is about land. Give up land, and your people will not be killed. And Governor Tom said, I will not do so. It will be a betrayal. And they said, okay, be prepared to be burying your people. So if Governor Tom has said so, of course, it is with good reason. He didn't just wake up to say it. My friend and brother here, he has mentioned the case of the former CBN the governor director, Obadiah. Yes, Obadiah. Yes, and what happened to him for speaking out and saying the truth. Tom had been attacked several times for speaking out. And coincidentally, the Miyetti Allah themselves have on several occasions openly threatened other people, and nothing happened.
Even the Senate president.
Nobody would say anything. Nobody would do anything. I don't agree that we need to expand our justice system. It's in place. There is nothing wrong with it. Rather, there is everything wrong with the individuals who man the system. It's not about the system. Whichever people you put there, the system will accommodate and work with. But the human beings we are putting are wrong. Square pegs in round holes. Triangular pegs in rectangular holes. That is the problem we are having. So we keep on watching out for body language. People who are supposed to do certain things will be watching out for body language. Let's know if Oga, my boss, is speaking from the elbow. Is it his elbow talking today, or his ear is twitching? And then let's try to decode and know what the ear is saying or referring. Where people have apprehended people from a particular suspects from a particular ethnic group in Nigeria and handed over to law enforcement agents, and nothing came out of it. It happened in Abia during Ochendo's time, when a number of buses, over 300 and something people or 400 and something, were arrested in one night, in the course of one night, by security agencies from a particular part of the country. All of them. Where are you people going to? We are traders. Where is your money that you're going to use to trade? Nothing to show for it. ATM card, nothing to show. ID card, nothing. They just, okay, who are you? Who is your business partner? They are not aware. They didn't know. And by morning, the soldiers descended and collected all of them. And that was the last we heard of it, of that. You remember? Till today, nothing has been said. Because they are from a particular, if only 2 of them had been from, let's say, Southeast, nobody would have heard. The likes of Diaspora, Mrs. Diaspora, wouldn't have allowed us to hear. That one would have gone to town, shouted, they are from Southeast, they are Igbos. But we got over 400 and something suspected terrorists. Till today, nothing had been told the state government about those people. We only had, okay, the military said we are profiling them. Thereafter, what happened? The system is in place. It has a procedure to handle such, but the human beings manning it will not work, because we are watching at, you see, look at my shoulder. The shoulder is talking. Is it the right shoulder or the left shoulder that is talking? Body language. That's what's finishing us here.
Okay, I am better than Atiku and Obi, says the presidential candidate of the APC in terms of economy. And according to him, both Peter Obi and Atiku, they have no antecedents and they know nothing. And they lack, according to him, they lack the experience.
I'm sorry that I'm laughing.
To lead the country. They lack the experience to lead the country.
My brother, continue while I laugh, please.
Yes, enjoy your laugh. I think in a superlative sense, okay, in a comparative sense, it's better. Yes, you can actually better someone's record in many ways, including
positively or negatively. Thank you for that.
So you can actually better someone in many things, whether negative or positive. To me, this is a man who has been so much trying to market himself. Remember before now, the argument has been he's not been making appearances to either. In fact, we've had various professional bodies like the ICANN, like the Nigerian Bar Association, who hosted or held a forum, bringing all the aspirants like himself to come talk to the people, come sell your candidacy or your candidature, tell Nigerians what the deliverables you wish to bring to bear if elected. And so non-appearance, he did not even appear. And recently he's willing to make appearances, and we are now hearing from him now that he's better than others. But to me, it depends on who does the defining of the better. That's the thing, you understand? Because we know that we give it to these candidates. They have their experiences, you can't take it away from them. Somebody who has been, Tinubu has only been a senator and then a governor. And mind, when he was a senator, he didn't even last up to 2 years. That was 1992 to 1993, before the military interregnum came. So he became a governor of Lagos State, and then before them we had heard, although there have been controversial and issues about it, that he used to be an accountant. But if you want to talk about Peter Obi, he sat at many boards and he's had many trainings in Oxford, Harvard, where have you, what have you, and then the same thing goes to even somebody like Tambua, and then Atiku, who has a master's in international relations and has been the vice president. If you ask me, I would say the most politically advanced person who has made decision at national level. You understand? So I do not know what Tinubu means when he said experience and then it is better than them. I don't even want to begin to talk about it to the extent it begins to appear as if I'm trying to demarcate him. But to me, he is the one who needs to do more in terms of selling himself. And I'm sorry to say it, he is the person who needs to do more in terms of selling himself. I'm not to talk about same-faith ticket or other things. But this is a person whose candidacy has posed serious questions before the Nigerian electorate, whether he has the physical and mental coordination to be the president. Mind you, and I will say this, see, when we talk about the health of the president, whether there should be a disclosure about it. Omar Musa Yar'Adua, we all remember the phone call. Omar, they said you are dead, and Omar said, no, I'm not dead. There were controversies, there were secrets about his health record. What happened? The same person whom we were told was playing squash, was good at playing squash, was at a point smuggled into this country, smuggled inside this country at night. And listen, there was something that happened during the time of the yes. That same thing is why I keep having concern about Tinubu. I am not trying to preempt his physicians or his doctors to say he is not fit, but I'm saying something. When Omar Musa Yar'Adua was to inspect a particular thing in Bayelsa, from there he was to go to ECOWAS meeting in Togo. There were concerns that the president was not fit to make it. You know that he nearly slumped. He nearly slumped at Togo. Upon arrival, he nearly slumped. And that very exercise was actually aborted. So what does that speak to you? The president, we don't want to be and see, where is president today? President Muhammad Buhari has also left the invasion of the country on medical grounds, and we've had Tinubu leave the invasion of the country on medical grounds too. See, we've had, if you follow the Nigerian polity from 1999, you see that every 8 years we've actually elected people who have had to be treated with public. In fact, taxpayers' money. In 1999, Obasanjo was here. Then after 8 years, we had Omar Musa Yar'Adua. After 8 years now, from 2007 to the next 8 years was 2015. Who was there? President Muhammad Buhari, the most vocal critic of Omar Musa Yar'Adua for traveling abroad. But he has stayed over 100 days. So Tinubu is the person who has more to tell Nigerians. There are questions even about his background, where he schooled, who was his classmates, his real background, and certain things about him, mistakes. But then,
all right, don't talk about the schooling and his classmates. He had a correspondence course, so
we are told, yes, and it is right to have that too anyway.
All right, council, according to Tinubu, he said they lack antecedents. He said they lack antecedents, and experience to lead the country, and that's why he is better.
A man who knows next to nothing about climate change in this era should not aspire to lead the smallest country in the world. A man who knows only that 50 million youth will be recruited and fed agbado, cassava, would not aspire to lead a sovereign nation like Nigeria. It would be doing a great disservice to us. At each point in time, the bat, as they prefer to call him, has always demarcated himself. Nobody has been demarcating him. He has been doing so. Each time he opens his mouth to try to explain anything, it requires an explanation to explain his explanation. That has been the problem that they have been having. Everything about him requires explanation. His education, his parentage, his origin, background, source of wealth, how he used Lagos money to purchase Lagos, and so on. At each point in time, at every point, there are issues that have been left outstanding, none resolved. So it becomes really embarrassing for him to say that he is better than any presidential candidate. In terms of what? Is it in terms of knowledge like my friend and brother here said, well, it could be positive or negative. It could be better positively or negatively. You understand? So he needs to go further and tell us in what way he is better. Because he has not, you are just telling us, I will make Nigeria rich. How? From where? How are you going to do that? Is it by hoarding bullion vans in your house during the election, as he did? In what way are you going to do?
Even this morning, the IG of police was even busy narrating why the police
was unable to arrest him.
So to make it
the Inspector General of Police is now the public relations officer of Bola Tinubu.
Okay.
Yes, the IG of Police is now the public relations officer of. This morning he was acting as the PRO of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What business of his is he? Is he the Minister for Justice? He should allow the presidency of Lai Mohammed, Femi Adesina, and Garba Shehu to do it, or allow the man under whose office such things would ordinarily fall, that is the Attorney General of the Federation, to attempt to even Madam Diaspora would have done better at trying to give some explanation. Why would the IG get involved in anything like that? It's not his business. If for any reason the police must talk, there is a member of the police force who is statutorily empowered to do things like that, assuming that it was even necessary for the police to respond. And that's the first PRO.
Yes.
The IG should steer clear of such issues, such partisan issues. Allow the thing, let it run its course.
All right. The Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, on Tuesday carried out simultaneous operations against Bureau de Change operators in Abuja and Kano, as the naira slumped to 857 naira to a dollar at the parallel market.
Have you checked this morning the value of the naira? We're almost at 900.
No, so, with 857, it's almost 900.
No. It went further down. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so Honorable, is it as a result of the planned redesigning of the naira?
Yeah.
Is it what brought about this?
Yes. I think each time we are about to execute policy, we lack that finesse to go and do a background check or analysis or even run survey. What, in the course of implementation of the policy, the negative sides and the positive sides. You don't just out of a sudden
exuberance.
You slap policy on Nigerians. The same way we woke up to hear that VAT has been increased from 5% to 7.5%. The same way we just wake up to staggering news, and it's the same thing happening now. You see, when you say you are trying to mop up liquidity or you are trying to withdraw certain old notes, yes, and I have said in Nigeria it should be a very huge shame and embarrassment to us that currencies or our banknotes don't have lifespan. No banknotes issued anywhere is expected to stay beyond 8 to 10 years in circulation, but in our country you see that we are beginning now to see those issued on the first date of issue, even in 2005, even in 2007, these banknotes. But when you say you want to do this, and you know that you are trying to do it, perhaps wanting to maybe undermine the politically exposed persons who have hoarded this money, maybe to buy votes or to use it as war chest to execute election. And I have said, you may not even achieve the whole success you intended. Now, some persons who have naira have approached the GBCs, and when such pressure is on naira, you know what it means? That the dollar will appreciate, and it's what is happening now. So it's quite unfortunate. We've had monetary policies or monetary regimes. We've been talking about the Aboki FX. We've been talking about many things, but yet I do not think that the CBN has been able to harmonize the monetary policies under MFA, and it's a huge concern. When you say you are trying to withdraw or mop up or liability, you will know that people will trend the naira to the dollar, and that is what is happening now. So it's part of it. But I think the EFCC is also doing its job. Remember, its name is Economic, Financial, you understand? EFCC, Crime Commission. But the thing is that this is an agency, a commission, and I'm trying to say it from the time of assembly that has been actually been used for political ends in most cases. So I think, yes, we expected this. If you remember very well, we said these things here in our last edition. We talked about these things, and again, I should expect that going forward there should be. We are not even talking about this one, a legislative instrument that says upon a particular period of after a particular year or period of time, we come up with new notes. It's not that, but the thing is the timing. And mind you, this morning alone, we are hearing also that CBN has spent so far 281.07 billion naira to design currencies since 2016 to 2020, and they have spent 3 billion to destroy old banknotes. So we don't even know what they will be spending.
So they said they're going to spend 12 billion to destroy the old ones.
Old ones, now currently. I'm talking about the record of 2016 to 2020. Now, we don't really know what they will be spending to destroy. You are destroying something that only need edict or a law to say this money is not. You are just facing it out, and you are telling me you are destroying it with billions of naira. And then again, you are also going to be redesigning. And mind you, see, redesigning currencies or designing currencies is more expensive than printing. Printing is that you have a specimen of the currency already, you are just printing. But redesigning is that you are going to do engraving, you are going to do printing, you are going to do other scientific things, codes you are going to embed into the currency. And this is will take money. And is it what we need now? When family finances are crashing, a baby bag of rice is almost 50,000 naira now. For a men like us now, who we have to buy for your in-law, you buy for your family, you also buy for your own parents. So you begin to ask yourself, and it's not letting up. So I think the timing and everything, this is the reason why this is happening. You understand? People who have hoarded naira have got to do what to trade it for dollar.
All right, I know. Council, do you think the EFCC arrest will have anything to do with the falling of naira?
It was not the arrest that caused the falling of the naira.
Yes.
It was not. Yes, certainly, because the naira fell using simple principles of economics, demand and supply. In those days that we studied the elementary economics in school, which by today's standard is university level, when you have anything in too much supply, and the demand is like limited or fixed, what happens? Crashes, the price crashes. When you push too much of the supply, it would necessarily go down. So suddenly, we woke up one morning that all the naira notes hoarded were out. The dollar available is fixed. We are not printing dollars in Nigeria. So the quantity available for exchange is fixed. And so what necessarily happens, naira must crash and will continue to crash unless we do the right thing. Unless we do the right thing, it will get, the policy has not even started. We just heard about it and the crashing. It
has begun.
Yes, nose diving. By the time we get to the middle of December, only God knows what will be happening. So it was not the arrest. The gentleman, the Kogi lawmaker, who was arrested, had been running his mouth about corruption and incompetence on the part of some other candidates, both of the PDP, the APC, and the Labour Party candidates, and he was quite caustic against them. But look at it. It turned out that he was actually
the perpetrator.
Yes, the Barawo.
The perpetrator in chief.
Yes, it turned out that he was the one, and he's been put on national TV, disgraced, where he went to exchange with GMG. You know what GMG means? Do you know what GMG means? GMG is Ghana must go. I've taught you a new lexicon. So you have all these rotten notes suddenly out, and everybody wants to dispose of, because some of the people that hoarded the money all along didn't even know that they hoarded so much they didn't even know where, and they didn't know the conditions of the notes, but they've been forced to suddenly go to check.
Yes.
So it was not EFCC that made. If anybody is to be blamed, it is the CBN.
Yes, and I think to let more credit to what he said. You see, like I said before, if we had a policy that says money, this particular notes doesn't stay up to 10 years or 5 years in circulation, this would happen. You understand? But again, I think it is very embarrassing that this is happening under an administration that promised us in 2015 that 1 naira would trade for $1.
And to fight corruption.
Yes, quite unfortunate.
Well, they are fighting corruption. They are fighting. All right, wonderful viewers, we'll be going on a very short break. So when we come back, we'll continue with Nigeria Today. Don't go away. Keep watching Living TV. All right, wonderful viewers, welcome. Thank God you're still there watching Living TV. Nigeria Today continues. All right, Council, I want to ask, if in between the time of implementation of the redesigning of the Naira and the Naira has gone down this way, what happens when the thing is fully implemented?
Only God would be able to answer such a question for a country like Nigeria. Ordinarily, one would say that by the time we begin implementation, the money would take, the new notes would take time to go round, no matter how you look at it. In a similar program, we had discussed and suggested that this thing could have been gradually implemented, introduced. It is the job of CBN, even without legislation.
Yes, it's monetary policy.
Yes, it's monetary policy that this particular currency note, there is an indication as to the year. If it stays out and comes in, and the bank, you notice that it has stayed 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, depending on whichever, hold back onto it, return it to the Apex Bank for reissuance. It will not be destroyed. They don't, everything mustn't even be legislated. It's part of their standard operating procedure, responsibility. They control the money in the economy, and that is another way of doing it. But to create all this unnecessary panic, you give a date, and it is so short. For something that ought to take at least the next 6 months, you are giving us 45 days. At a time we are going into elections, At the time that the Southeasterners, the bulk of those in this area are Christians, when we are going to celebrate our Christmas, our homecoming, it's part of us, end of the year and everything. That is the time we even need the money. That is the time you want to stifle us of it. I keep on emphasizing, I have nothing against redesigning. I have nothing against it. But the timing of the implementation makes it suspicious. And it is fraught with all kinds of misdeeds and mischief aforethought, such that we've already seen all the landmines, all the pitfalls that we are going to. We talked about this one. We've not yet started, and it has already happened.
Yes.
By the time we get into implementation, like I said, only God would be our saving grace.
Yeah. Okay. Finally, comrade, still on this redesigning of this currency. Do we see this as being insensitive on the part of the MFLS, and then also lack of consultation? Because if there were due consultations, I'm sure a lot of things would have been put in place.
Exactly.
So, what will Nigerians do?
I think the thing Nigerians will do going forward should be to begin to, that's what they say in Igbo, to begin to tell those who have not heard. But to put it mildly, I think the CBN did not show financial discipline in executing this or in coming up with this policy. To me, there is no way. Yes, I know that the Ministry of Finance, the President or the Presidency, part of the Presidency, then Debt Management Office, that's the DMO, and then Accountant General and the General, they oversee the fiscal policy. But the CBN oversees the monetary policy. But there is no way you implement, or you come up with a monetary policy without the person in charge of the fiscal policy.
Yes, consulting them. Otherwise it will implode.
So to me,
as it has already imploded.
Yes, I do not know why there is this lack of synergy between ministries or interagency or interministerial understanding or synergy in this government. But let me say this, you see, the problem, like Barrister said here, you see, the problem is not even about redesigning. I have said it's monetary policy. The CBN has that statutory responsibility to even denominate the Naira. If the Naira appreciates, that is what you call PPP, purchasing power parity. If the Naira gains more purchasing power vis-a-vis the dollar, you now denominate, say, $1 is no longer 470, it's now 400 Naira. Naira is appreciating. But it is not, it's about the timing. Now see, I've seen in Britain transition, I think in March this year, they transitioned from paper notes to polymer. They gave people 6 months. The other day, the Queen died. They told their citizens, take your time, just relax, we'll take our time to do what? To mop up this currency.
As it is coming in,
yes,
with their season and giving us the new, they have not given any time and say it was
the head of the new monarch. You understand? As the law is, the one with the head of the new monarch and the signature of the, but it's quite unfortunate that in Nigeria here, such a thing, you just wake up. And the president, who was supposed to be in Korea, when this policy was announced, we say that there was, I wouldn't know, we didn't see any memo, no circular to that effect. But all of a sudden, it becomes,
for the first time, he's aware of it.
And the president is now aware of this. Now, 45 days, you ask yourself, those in rural area, those in riverine area, how are they going to access bank? Now, when the pressure comes on the bank, the next point will be the POS. They are likely to increase their charges too, mind you, and there will be panic. See, the Naira may suffer rejection, and mind you, one of the policies of money is acceptability to everybody. And the Naira may suffer rejection in the likelihood, or when these deadlines start drawing near. See, people in the market will not want to accept the old currency then. They will not want them. Yes, they will be looking for what? The new currency. The pressure will be on bank. Mind you, bank work does not only include receipts of cash and deposit. Bank has other operations. It does. So that's why we are saying they should go back to the drawing board and see what they can do. At least you usually have the unbanked population. Many people don't even have BVN. So how are you going to get them now? To get BVN, we know the requirement. You must go and get what? NIMC can. And getting that one also requires you traveling back to the community to get
origin, certificate of origin.
All these things are the things they should be thinking.
All right. All right. Well, you can always call us and viewers on 091-682-84994. Call us. Tell us where you're calling from. give your own contributions or ask questions based on the issues on ground, you can do that. I repeat, I said the number is 091-682-84994. You can always call us in and tell us, give your own contributions or ask questions based on the issues on ground. All right, having said that, the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola San, says the federal government owes 11.16 trillion naira for construction of various highways across the country and certificates of completion. Talking about 11.16 trillion naira as a debt. Then what has happened to all these borrowed monies all this while, the council?
Well, we are busy constructing Niger Republic. We borrow and do constructions in other countries. We borrow and sometimes manage to just pay salaries. We borrow, and when we want to do any construction in Nigeria, it is somewhere up north. Which one was initiated by the previous administration? The River Niger. That is the only, yes, the only one that I know in the major one in the southeast. But at the end of the day, every part of the country would be equally liable to join in repaying. The basis for this debt being incurred is the oil found in a particular part of the country, namely the south. And you use it to do things for areas that do not have a drop of oil. And somebody would wake up and say, why should we talk on this program about that we should keep quiet, that it is, we are not getting it right, that they might even accuse us, if care is not taken, of hate speech for saying that you rob Peter to pay Paul, that it is not right. This thing, the bulk of it comes from my state. Abia State is an oil producing state. And so, standing on that assurance, I can talk about it and say that it is not right. When people produce things in other parts of the country, it is for them. But the oil is Commonwealth. Now we get them. How many Abia citizens own oil blocks? To the best of my knowledge, I stand to be contradicted with facts and figures. I'm not aware of any. Even if we have from Abia State, I'm sure there may not be more than one or two. But we are an oil producing state. So all the monies that they are claiming, because it is a claim, to have spent, as far as I'm concerned, it is earmarked, na audio, that money, na audio money. Because in my own state, what is the state of the federal roads? We cannot move from here to River State. I tried around the Ugunabo Okwa area. The road does not exist. You go to Imo State, it is the same thing. It does not exist. So I think it would be okay if the minister would come out to tell us the roads that, yes, the federal highways. I know the major federal highways we have running through Abia, that of Omoika to Imo State, then Enugu Port Harcourt Express Road, and Aba to Ekote Ekpene, that does not exist. People are now planting things in the middle of the road. Any area you see palliatives was done by either the two state governments. They cooperate and synergize to do some palliative during the Christmas season so that people can travel. For my maternal people, it's shorter to go through Akwa Ibom from here to Arochukwu than to use the federal highway. So where is it? Where did he spend it? I'm not saying they didn't spend, but it would be okay to tell us where they spent. And if they've been using oil from my state, Abia, as collateral or backup to take the loan with which they are executing for non-oil producing areas, it's not right. It's not right.
All right, comrade.
Yes.
You have the figure 11.16. And,
yes. I saw it this morning.
Yes,
I was agitated.
they are still lamenting.
Yeah.
They even need more. The latest budget for 2023.
Yes.
And then okay, as you take on this, also remember the new Port Harcourt Expressway that has been abandoned for over a year now. Between Usioma to Ariari is now motorable.
Yes.
And then
You have not tried from the flyover, that is the old flyover at Aloji. Try moving from there to Okwa. The road does not exist. The containers are falling. I think just do some journalistic investigation there and go. Just try it. But if you're going, don't wear anything like white, or make sure we wear something dark brown. Even this black will be stained, but we are dark brown overall with a solid boot. Then maybe you might survive.
Okay, so comrade, look at it, and considering all this road, and they're putting these huge amount of money in trillions, not in billions.
Yes. To me, if you look at it, this is the administration that has existed with the worst form of budget constraints. You understand? We're borrowing. In fact, let me even remind you that the CBN Ways and Means as of 2015 stood at I think around 796 billion naira, but today we are having over 20 trillion naira. The government is even borrowing, internal or domestic debt. And unfortunately, you are not even like Barrister here said, you don't even borrow to build infrastructure. You are borrowing to pay salaries. And as we are speaking now,
do infrastructure in Nigeria
to review the salaries of the president and the current
yes.
Within the time ASU was on strike, agitating for improved working conditions, and then for the revitalization fund of universities with 1.3 trillion naira, they are trying to revitalize over 90 universities, which to me is paltry and poor. The same federal government increased what you call duty tour allowance of ministers from 35,000 naira to 90,000 naira, and that of permanent secretaries and then other officials in the ministry. That is financial indiscipline, and that is why we are having. See, this administration has come up with what he said is I think infrastructure tax credit or something. If you build every infrastructure, the government withdraw from your tax. Dangote and the Abuad and the rest of them, we are building infrastructure somewhere in the north, and we are being told about that. But see, like Barrister said, you cannot come to equity with dirty hands, because equity, or with soiled hands, because everything has done that which is supposed to be done. Nigerian system lacks equity. And when you're talking about resource control, resource distribution, and what have you, in the north, where you have Zamfara State and the other good mining states, the president initiated what he called PAGMI, the Presidential Artisanal Mining Development Initiative. But in the south, we have a lot of people. Some of the things you call oil theft or illegal or bunkering are people who are, I'm sorry I'm saying this, are people who are supposed to ordinarily be lifted from the informal sector of the oil sector to the main sector. At the beginning of the PIB, what used to be the petroleum industry bill, remember very well that what we're talking about was what local content. The way we have to empower people, those in Lugunago, to begin to do what? To refine in the formal sense now. No longer in the formal sense. But unfortunately, when the bill was presented before the National Assembly, there was now the issue of the north-south dichotomy of the river basin states, the basin states and the frontier states, and then the host community getting 3%, the other one getting 20%. So to me, they are not being fair. And I think the present administration has a lot of work to do. It has borrowed beyond its capacity. IMF is warning, and even the World Bank.
China says it's no longer going to lend us.
Even the railway, yes. And the same railway they're talking about, and listen, the Port Harcourt Boronu axis should have crossed the southeast.
Yeah,
yes.
But that one has been abandoned. And the minister came out to say that there were issues of sabotage and hijack of rail facilities in the southeast. And I was wondering, whereas we have seen where bandits will come out to blow their way, and yet
not in the southeast.
So to me, I think
not in the southeast.
Being sincere. Whether you are borrowing, you see, the budget of this administration from 2016, when it began implementing budget, the budgets have to be interrogated by financial experts. And I will tell you what, you see, we have budgetary constraints, budgetary deficit, more than we've had before. This is the government we expected will be reducing the number of flights or the number of jets in the presidential fleet. What happened? We are, oh my goodness. So I don't even know where we each want to talk and leave there. So
okay, let it be a discussion for another day. Let us see the few ones we have here, the few headlines we have here. Let us see how we can be fast with them so that we exhaust. Let's see if we can exhaust what we have here. The South leader, Edwin Clark, has called on President Muhammadu Buhari, now on a medical vacation in the United Kingdom, to, as a matter of urgency, hand over powers to the Vice President, Yemi Osibanjo, to act for the period of his absence from the country. The elder statesman said he described this as illegal and unconstitutional for Buhari to have refused to transmit power to his vice. Council.
Yes, I agree entirely with him, because nobody wants to go through that doctrine of necessity saga again. A constitutional amendment was effected, and I believe that Oga Chief Driver, before leaving, ought to have done the needful. He had done it in the past and demonstrated it, and it worked. After all, there is nothing again to fear from Osibanjo. He will no longer be president, at least not at this time. So he had no business leaving without transmitting power to him.
Okay.
You said make it short.
Yes,
so
comrade.
Yes.
Are you on the same note?
Yes, I'm on the same note. It's just that there is politics as associated to it. You should also remember that certain changes have been made when the president was away. For example, the releasing of Nnamdi Kanu when Osibanjo was acting. Also the sack of the DSS man, Daura, was actually done when the president was away. And as the president, eminently qualified Matthew Seifa was actually chosen by Osibanjo. The president returned and passed all those things. Ever since then, the president has yet to hand over briefs to his vice as is constitutional. And this is a constitutional democracy. It is not a military rule. So I think Edwin Clark is in order. The president do the needful.
Now, if you had handed over to the presidency, is Osibanjo not part of the presidency?
You know that.
No. Osibanjo is not part of the presidency. We know the presidency. There are three.
Remember the one of 2017, 2018. Osibanjo, the president came back. There was a circular issue that all correspondences, whether it's coming from anybody, must pass through
the chief of staff.
And that's Abakina. It happened in this country.
So it is obvious that every vice president or deputy
whether
in Nigeria is
anybody, it's been there before. And
yes, but even a Speta Act now, when the mentor is not there, the Speta comes in.
But it's unfortunate. we didn't have Speta Act.
Well, and maybe some other time, the council will explain to us why Osibanjo is not part of the presidency, the current presidency.
No, it's not.
All right, 62 years after independence, judiciary still engaged by Mike Azakame San.
Yes. What happened after the judgment given by the Court of Appeal clearly showed it, where we learned that the punitive postings or transfers of the judges involved in that judgment were made. And then a new panel was constituted that came in and stayed that judgment that everybody was praising. The international community, people within and outside the country were praising it and said, look, this is in accord, this is sound reasoning that produced this judgment. And then all of a sudden you stayed it. I find that quite worrisome. I'm aware that in a particular decision, I think Nigerian Army, yes, Nigerian Army, that's the name of the case, Nigerian Army against Mowarim. The court said that a declaration that somebody should be released cannot be stayed. But today, it is being stayed. So I wonder what, I'm a member of that particular, it's my constituency. And so that's why when things like this happen, I get worried. I don't want to be thrown out of job because people up there are are refusing to be consistent.
Yes.
When they begin to do like that, it becomes worrisome for some of us down here.
Okay, comrade, let's just take that. Lai Mohammed said, Lai Mohammed, the information and culture minister, said he needs more money in funding, rather to aid the funding of a fight against fake news, disinformation, and hate speech. That he needs more money.
Yes.
And over the years, how has this ministry failed in this country?
In the fight.
In the fight.
Where did the fight take place, or where has it been taking place?
He's a federal minister in this country. So he said he needs more money.
He needs more
The one
money
allocated to the ministry is not
war.
enough.
Yes, to prosecute war against fake news.
Fake news, disinformation, and hate speech.
Yes, although we can't dismiss the fact that there are fake news and then misinformation, but many of them are coming from even the government quarters.
That is the thing.
Many of them are also coming from the government quarters. You see, somebody died. One man called Ariyu, who happened to be an activist and is my friend, I think from Ekiti State. He was among those who championed the Electoral Act amendment in the civil society space. Somebody like Joe Ibokwe tweeted something and they said, we were mocking the president. He was now retweeting the man's tweet, which said that the president has traveled outside the country. L5 was also outside the country. Tinubu was outside the country. People should think in how they vote. He now said life and death belongs to Almighty. But that's a hate speech. We are aware in this country when the president tweeted something, talked about the experience of 1967 to 1970, repeating it on a particular people. His tweet was yanked off, and the tweeter was suspended in this country. And I can tell you, being somebody who is close to the civic space, I can tell you authoritatively, there was a time they procured, I think it is something billion naira or so, to monitor WhatsApp in this country. I can't place the actual figure. So the war has been ongoing, but it's quite unfortunate that this war, in most cases, yes, I believe that there are some information that may truncate the peace and unity of Nigeria. Let's say the fact. But you see that the war is phony war. It's not real war. Phony war is sometimes targeted at the democratic institutions themselves and against the assumptions of democracy, like freedom of speech, expression, and what's happening. So,
all right, Council. Yeah, how would you rate this ministry headed by Alhaji Lai Mohammed? Talking about more funds.
I need to be fair to him and his ministry. Maybe 13% performance. I wouldn't want to give them.
Are you giving him back derivation?
No, just I'll score him 13% with his ministry. Otherwise, I should have given him something like 7.5%.
You see, I'm not. Let me interject briefly. You see, if the Minister of Information goes about his duty the way it should be him telling Nigerians not to panic. One, about the Naira issue, then about the advice coming from the USA. You understand? Not the other way around. Even educating Nigerians, that's information and culture. NOA is under his watch. National Orientation Agency.
Same thing with museums.
Yes, but that
tourism. How have our museums fared?
That agency is always.
How have our museums fared? What's the relevance and the place of the museums in teaching, in education? What inputs are they making in teaching our people? Close to us here, we have the Museum of Colonial History. Take a trip, sir, to that place and find out what is happening. Visit any of our museums. Whereas in other SENA climes, museums and monuments attract heavy tourism, and which in turn attracts a lot of foreign exchange. Not much in terms of earning, because it's there to achieve a party, but you use it to also launder the image of your. But here, it's just abandoned property for some civil servants.
All right. The Minister of Defense, Bashi Magashi, says Nigeria needs prayers from the United States government and not a terror alert that will.
That we need prayers.
Yes, that we need prayers from the
US.
From the US.
Nigeria needs prayers from the US.
Yes, and not
the most praying nation on earth is now
needing prayers from the US.
Not the terror alert.
No, see, it's not the place of any other country to pray. It's our exclusive preserve. Prayer now for us. We have all kinds, different, anything prayer has always, Nigeria does not need prayer from any country. We should rather be the ones praying for other countries. But if he's saying that the way the US gave the, yes, I concede that, yes, I concede that advisory, the way it came was equally ill-advised. The way it came was ill-advised. But I don't have all the details. It also may be that maybe other ones they gave earlier might have been disdained or treated with levity, which now made them to go open. Who knows? I'm not holding brief for them. But if it is for prayer, that one now domot the prayer.
That is to say that you are not doing it. The Nigerians
no, we are praying. We've been praying.
There is this man,
we've been praying.
To work is to pray. And in recent past, the chief of Loki Rabo himself has come out to say they need prayers too. And these are and we know how much we've been spending in our national budget every year. Yes, even procuring 12 camels from America with $1 billion plus something dollars. But the fact is this: you see, the advisory America gave is for their citizens, not for us. And that's why I say, if we live in a country where 44 intelligence reports were issued and no authority acted on them, you sometimes you may even be alarmist. So I don't want to blame them. You see, America and Nigeria shares information as they may have to do with what? Security. And that's why you have embassy to embassy relations or even consular relations. We now have consular relations that we even exchange culture and dress. See, America has what you call defense attaché here. And the meaning is that there is a lot of information passing through America and Nigeria. We have seen here where an American is detained, and within, in fact, in a lightning operation, they came and rescued their citizens. So when they issued this, what Nigeria ought to do is to begin to do her own assignment. See, the first release that came was that, yes, we know we are also on top of the situation and say kudos. But also later we started hearing it is politics, America should not detect this, America should not detect that. The point remains, how effective, how preemptive have we been before now? So if we joke with our citizens, other countries don't joke with their citizens. That's the meaning. So I am not even making a case for America, but I'm stating something that I am not happy. That it's not even up to 3 months ago that the Kuje facility was broken into. 400 persons were let free by terrorists. They parted inside Abuja. They were there. You understand? And they had a few days and they went. So you want America.
And intelligence for that was given.
44 intelligence. Exactly. 44 intelligence reports were given. So it tells you that America understands.
Until today, no head has been. No head has. Everybody is returning their job.
And not, mind you, it's not only America. Britain was there, Denmark was there, many of them were there, and they said the same thing. And let me tell you something, they have more sophisticated intelligence equipment than Nigeria. Anywhere they are, these are countries that even carry out espionage. I'm sorry to say it. They can spy you, and they can know the weaknesses and your strengths.
All right, wonderful viewers. Tomorrow will be another day of this program, Nigeria Today. Because of our time, let's call it a week for now. And from my far left, Comrade Nnamdi Elekwachi, thank you for being part of this program.
It's always my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And Barrister Chukwuemeka Nwogu, it's my pleasure having you in this program.
Thank you, sir.
And our wonderful viewers, remember, Issues of the Moment will also come up on Friday. And remember, Saturday, the Living TV Club also is there. Come around our station to find out how it works. And then make sure you're part of it. Keep watching Living TV. And this is your command, Chinedu Adiele, signing off for now.